What's going on, everybody? My name is Eli. Before we dive right into the content, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet, and remember to enter the giveaway if you haven't entered yet. If you need the descriptions on how to enter the giveaway, visit my last YouTube video or go on my Instagram page and look at the caption of the thumbnail from my last YouTube video. The resource that I'm giving away, the ADEA Dental School Explorer subscription, is a resource that I'll be using in this video today to give you guys real stats on if you can get into dental school with under a 3.0, how you can do it, and a little bit of my personal story of how I was able to do it after graduating undergrad with under a 3.0. So for a lot of this video, I'll be using a B-roll film of my computer screen recording because I'll be going through different statistics on the ADEA Dental School Explorer, and I want you guys to be able to see what I'm looking at on my computer while I describe to you what these numbers mean. Now, unlike my other videos, I'm going to try not to make this video too long. It's going to be pretty short and concise, get straight to the point, start out by telling you guys my story, a couple of my friends' stories, and a little bit of advice on if you can get into dental school with a 3.0 or less and how you can go about doing that if that's what your GPA looks like. If you're a dental student and you're watching my channel in support of me, I thank you, and I challenge you to comment a piece of advice you have for someone who's looking to get into dental school with under a 3.0 or any kind of GPA that would be considered on the lower end of the spectrum. So I want to start the video off by showing you guys a little bit of what the ADEA Dental School Explorer looks like. It is this online database where you can look at every dental school, click on the school, for example, this school, Case Western University, and you can see all the statistics about the school, history about the school, their curriculum, and even demographics, average GPAs, etc. Last year when I was applying to dental school, I decided to purchase this resource because I felt that as someone with a lower GPA, I needed to be able to see all the school stats, know what my reach schools were, know what my safety schools were, and so I can apply in a broad range of realistic schools for my statistics. So I'm not gonna screen record my entire transcript and show it to you guys, but I can look at the exact numbers right here. My entire undergrad transcript, including the one class that I retook that I'll tell you guys about later. My total undergrad GPA comes out to a 2.974. My school had the plus minus system, so B average was a 3.0, B minus was a 2.7, B plus was 3.3, etc. C minus 1.7, you get the gist. So on top of me not graduating undergrad with a 3.0, I also had several C's on my transcript in chemistry classes, and I actually took a W, which is withdrew from a course one semester in my undergrad years. On top of that, after a lot of consideration, I decided to retake the one class that I got a C minus in, which was General Chemistry 2 Lab. I am walking, living proof that you can be accepted to dental school with under a 3.0 GPA from undergrad. I do know other people who have gotten in with 3.0s or maybe slightly under, but I did do a post-bac program. I will finish off the video with some advice about whether you want to look into doing a post-bac program or not, and give you guys some real stats as well as my story, so you have something real to justify your decisions off of. So I know you guys have probably heard plenty of times now that each applicant is different. Obviously, not everyone has the same grades. Not everyone can be accepted with under a 3.0. But to give you some real statistics, I decided to randomly pick 5 schools, show you guys what their statistics are on the ADEA Dental School Explorer, and then you can decide based on their average GPAs and their percentiles where you fall and what your chances are of being accepted into dental school. So let's check out a few schools. Number one, we'll start with the school that I'm attending this fall, which is Boston University. So because everything can fit on one panel, I don't have to insert a screen recording for every school. I'll simply put a screenshot of their stats and post it up on the screen so you guys can look as I talk about them. So for Boston University, you're looking at an average DAT for academic average, a 20.2, PAT score of 20.2, and total science score of 19.8. Now their range, you can see, is a little wider. So if you are applying with a low GPA, a good idea would be try to get your DAT scores above the average. That way you have something working in your favor. We can look now at the average GPA for Boston University is a 3.44 with a 3.33 science GPA. But as you can see from the range, there are people that got accepted with under a 3.0, with the 5th percentile being a 2.89 and the 95th percentile being a 3.88. So Boston University is a school that you can apply to if you have under a 3.0, and there is a realistic chance of you getting in. Next school we're going to take a look at, I decided to pick this school because they are an Ivy League school, so you would expect their stats to be on the higher side and their DAT scores as well. So let's check them out and see what kind of grades you need to get into Columbia University. So again, I'll put the stats up on the screen right here so you can follow along as I describe them. But just as we expected, you need a lot better stats to get into an Ivy League school like Columbia University. Their DAT scores have an academic average mean of 23.9, a perceptual ability mean of 21.7, and a total science mean of 23.6. Those are already excellent DAT scores. Applying with a low GPA, you would have to really get in the 95th percentile to balance that out, and that is really hard, especially if your science background is not that great. They have an average GPA of 3.75. The low end, which is the 5th percentile of their GPA, is a 3.42. So Columbia University is not a school I would apply to if I had under a 3.0 GPA. So next, we're going to take a look at New York University, NYU. I decided to pick this school because it is the largest dental school in the United States. Their incoming class size is an average of about 350 students. And because they accept so many students, I knew that they would have a wide range of students' GPAs to pick from, and there was a chance that they would accept a student with under 3.0 GPA. So let's take a look at how their stats look. So as you can see, NYU stats are similar to BU. Their DAT academic average has a mean of 21, PAT mean of 20, total science mean of 20.7. So if you were applying with a low GPA, you would want to aim to shoot higher than the mean, and those are achievable scores. They look a lot like my scores, so you want to aim for a little bit over the mean to kind of give you a strong side of your academics. Their GPA has an average of 3.45 with an average of a 3.33 science GPA, and if you look at the range, the 5th percentile is a 2.97. So Columbia is a school that you can apply to with under a 3.0 GPA and be accepted. So the next school I decided to pick was Howard University. I know that there are a lot of black pre-dents that watch my channel and watch my videos, and I know that as a black student, I really wanted the opportunity to attend an HBCU for professional school, especially coming from a PWI for my undergrad institution. So let's take a look at Howard's stats. The average stats for Howard are a little bit on the lower side compared to the other schools that I've done so far, with the average DAT academic average of 18.2, PAT of 17.6, and a total science of 18.2. The average GPA is a 3.24 with a 3.13 science GPA, and their 5th percentile of GPAs was a 2.8. So Howard is a school that you can apply to with a lower GPA and even maybe a lower DAT score. So the fifth and final school I decided to include was University of Maryland. The first dental school in America, my state school. I figured it would be a good school to include because for some reason a lot of people end up applying there. So their average DAT scores are 21 across the board with an average GPA of 3.57 with a range of 3.15 to 3.93. So UMB is also a hard school to get into with under a 3.0. While you can very possibly achieve higher DAT scores than a 21, it does look like you will have to be a little bit above a 3.0 to have a real shot of getting into University of Maryland. So I wanted to end the video off with a little bit of advice from me to you watching if you are looking for ways to get into dental school with a lower GPA. These are not expert tips. I'm not on any admissions board. All I can do is give you advice of what worked for me and what I've seen work for other people. So number one, like I mentioned, consider doing a post-bac program. I know that if you're watching this video, most likely you're trying to avoid that. But you also have to think of it from a perspective of not only do I need to improve my grades, but I need to improve my background in science in order to really succeed in dental school. So as I mentioned in previous videos, I did the George Squared program at George Mason and Georgetown universities, but I would also recommend looking up post-bac and master's programs that are linked to dental schools. I know of a few out there such as the Meharry MHS program. I think Rutgers and Temple both have some kind of program like that. Boston University has their OHS master's program. There's a lot of programs out there that are linked to a dental school, and while they may not guarantee you admission, it may get your foot in the door and give you a better shot at attending that dental school the following year. Another piece of advice that I would offer to help you overcome a low GPA when applying for dental school is to score well on the DAT. I told you guys my DAT scores before. I had a 21 academic average, a 22 PAT, and an 18 total science. Scoring well on your DAT will show the admissions board that you do take your academics seriously, and that although your transcript may not necessarily reflect it, you can show them that you actually learned something in undergrad and are able to perform well on this test, and you're able to take your academics seriously enough to study hard and perform well on this test to get into dental school. Another piece of advice that I have is to retake any class that you got a C- or under in. My last piece of advice is make sure that you're strong in the other areas of your application. I know people that decided that they didn't want to retake classes, they didn't want to do a post-bac program, they were just going to apply with what they had, and they decided that they were going to get more experience volunteering, shadowing, working as a dental assistant, etc. I can say that one thing I've seen that has worked for a lot of people is dental experience. They like to see you have a lot of shadowing hours and spend a lot of time either shadowing or working in a dental office. It shows that you're committed to the profession and that you have a real passion for dentistry, even though you may not be as strong in the classroom. A good way to know what will take your application over the top with a low GPA is to look at what schools ask for. Some schools don't even require volunteering hours, while some put more of an emphasis on it. Same with research, same with shadowing hours, etc. Learn what your strong suits are and learn which schools would appreciate those the most. Again, I wish I was sponsored or something, but I really think that's where the ADEA Dental School Explorer comes in handy. It lets you know all about the schools and you can line up what is best on your application with what the schools like the most. So once again, I appreciate everybody that took the time out to watch this video. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel and make sure you check out the giveaway, which I'll put on the end card of this video, so you can check out the details that were in the previous video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video with other pre-dents so that my videos can get out to the people that really need to see them. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.